Ram Ram bhajo man Hare Hare, Ram Ram bhajo man Hare Hare, Shri Ram bhajo man Hare Hare, Shri Ram bhajo man Hare Hare, Ram Ram bhajo man Hare Hare, Ram Ram bhajo man Hare Hare. रघुपति राजा राम राम, रघुपति राजा राम राम, पतित पावन सीताराम, पतित पावन सीताराम, राम राम भजो मन हरे हरे, राम राम भजो मन हरे हरे। अयोध्या वासी राम राम, अयोध्या वासी राम राम, दशरथ नंदन सीताराम, दशरथ नंदन सीताराम, राम राम भजो मन हरे हरे, राम राम भजो मन हरे हरे, श्री राम भजो मन हरे हरे, श्री राम भजो मन हरे हरे, राम राम भजो मन हरे हरे, राम राम भजो मन हरे हरे, राम राम भजो मन हरे हरे।
संभालो बिगड़ी दशा हमारी, दया करो है दयालु भगवन, दया करो है दयालु भगवन, दया करो है दयालु भगवन।
बोले श्री उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय। ओम नमश्चंदिकाय श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। जय गणेश गिरिजा सुवन। शिवजी चालीसा। मंगल मूल सुजान कहत अयोध्या दास तुम। देहु अभय वरदान। जय गिरिजापति दीन दयाला। सदा करत संतन प्रतिपाला। भाल चंद्रमा सोहत नीके। कानन कुंडल नागफनी के। अंग गौर सिर गंग बहाए। मुंड माल तन छाड़ लगाए। वस्त्र खाल बागंबर सोहे। छवि को देख नाग मुनि मोहे। मैना मातु की हवे दुलारी। वाम अंग सोहत छवि न्यारी। कर त्रिशूल सोहत छवि भारी। करत सदा शत्रुन छेकारी। नंदी गणेश सोहे तह कैसे। सागर माध्य कमल है जैसे। कार्तिक शाम और गण राहु। या छवि को कही जात न काहू। देवन जब ही जाए पुकारा। तब ही दुख प्रभु आप निवारा। किया उपद्रव तारक भारी। देवन सब मिली तुम ही जुहारी। तुरत शरानन आप पधायऊ, लव निमेष महा मार गिरायहूँ। आप जलंधर असुर संहार, सुयश तुम्हार विदित संसारा। त्रिपुरासुर समयुद्ध मचाई, सब ही कृपा कर लीन बचाई। किया तप ही भागीरथ भारी, पूरब प्रतिज्ञातास पुरारी। दानन मह तुम सम को नाई, सेवक स्तुति करत सदाई। वेद नाम महिमा तब गाई, अकत अनाद भेद नहीं पाई। प्रगति उदधि मंथन में जाला, जरे सुरासुर भय बिहाला। कीन्ह दया तह करहि सहाई, नीलकंठ तब नाम कहाई। पूजन रामचंद्र जब कीन्हा, जीत के लंका विभीषण दीन्हा। सहस कमल में हो रहे धारी, कीन्ह परीक्षा तब ही पुरारी।
एक कमल
प्रभु राखे उजोरी, कमल नयन पूरण चह सोई। कठिन भक्ति देखी प्रभु शंकर, भये प्रसन्न दिए चितवर। जय 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 अनंत अविनाशी, करत कृपा सब के घतवासी। दुष्ट सकल नित मोहि सतावे, भ्रमत रहे मोहि चैन नावे। त्राहि त्राहि मैं नाथ पुकारो, यही अवसर मोहियान उबारो। लय त्रिशूल शत्रुन को मारो, संकट से मोहियान उबारो। मात पिता भ्राता सब कोई, संकट में पूछत नहीं कोई। स्वामी एक है आस तुम्हारी, आए हरहु अब संकट भारी। धन निर्धन को देत सदा ही, जो कोई जाचे सो फल पाई। स्तुति के ही विधि करहु तुम्हारी, क्षमहु नाथ अब चूक हमारी। संकट हो संकट के नाशन, मंगल कारण विघ्न विनाशन। योगी यति मुनि ध्यान लगावे, नारद सारद शीस नवावे। नमो नमो जय नमो शिवाय, सुर ब्रह्मादिक पार न पाया। जो यह पात करे मंडलाए, तापर होत है शंभु सहाय। ऋनिया जो कोई हो अधिकारी, पात करे सो पावनहारी। पुत्रहीन हे छाकर कोई, निश्चय शिव प्रसाद ते ही होई। पंडित त्रयोदशी को लावे, ध्यान पूर्वक होम करावे। त्रयोदशी व्रत करे हमेशा, तन नहीं ताके रहे कलेसा। धूप दीप नैवेद्य चढ़ाए, शंकर सन्मुख पाठ सुनावे। जन्म जन्म के पाप नसावे, अंतवास शिवपुर में पावे। कहे अयोध्या आस तुम्हारी, जानी सकल दुख हर जाने सकल दुख हरहु हमारी, जाने सकल दुख हरहु। नित्य नेम कर प्रात ही, पात करो 40। तुम मेरी मनोकामना, पूर्ण कीन कल्याण। उमापति महादेव की जय। Rudrashtakam, adoring the form of Rudra, one of the most fierce form of the Lord is Rudra. There are 11 forms of Rudra, or 11 Rudras of Bhagwan Shiva. That's why we call them Ekadash Rudra, the 11 Rudras of Bhagwan Shiva. Not too long ago in Shravan, on a Monday, we performed Ekadash Rudra Puja, where the Rudram was read. The very powerful Vedic chanting was read by the Pandits of the temple for 11 times, adoring each Rudra. Bhima Rudraye Namah, Shankara Rudraye Namah. Different Rudras. And afterwards, the lingam was charged and bathed with all the 11 kalash. That process will repeat itself on February 18th, on the morning of Mahashivratri, where Ekadash Rudram will be done from 7 to 11. The 11 form of Rudras will be praised in the temple by the Vedic mantras. And after the 11 form of Rudras is praised, at 11 o'clock on that day, we will have 1,100 people to offer 1,100 shank of water to Bhagwan Shivji. It's a blessed occasion. 11 Rudras at 11 o'clock, 1,100 people will offer 1,100 shells. Now 11 shells, 1,100 shells. We have and purchased 1,100 shank. We have them in the temple, ready to go. Question is, are you ready to go? I'm asking every session, do you think we can have 1,100 Hindus here at 11 a.m. on Mahashivratri? That's a couple of streets here, 1,100 Hindus. So we're going to invite everybody, our cousin or friend or niece or the niece baby or nephew baby, everybody baby and cousin and father and aunt and uncle to come on out. No sponsorship, nothing like that. Just come on out. It's free. You will take back more than you bring on that day. To that form, we bow to the Rudrashtakam, these 8 verses praising Rudra Bhagwan. When we can appease the Lord in the harshest form, you know, if you can swim across a river or a lake or a pond or a trench or whatever it is, when the waves are the roughest, if you can swim across when the waves are the roughest, then it'll be a walk in the park, as we must say, if you swim when the waves are very quiet, the water is very still. If you appease the Lord in the form of Rudra, then appeasing him in Shiva form is very easy. Namami Shamishana Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Swarupam. Let us pray to him and ask his blessings on all of you as we're wrapping up the year 2022. We'll have a whole month to go, but as we wrap up the year, we thank the Lord for his blessings upon all of us, and may he bless all of you with good health and strength, with the knowledge to take care of yourself and those around you, and in challenging times, may all find means to survive in happiness and in bliss. Namami Shamishan Nirvan Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Swarupam. Namami Shamishan Nirvan Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Swarupam. Nijam Nirgunam Nirvikalpam Niriham Chidakashvakashvasam Nirakar Omkar Moolam Turiyam Giragyan Gotitamisham Girisham Karalam Mahakal Kalam Kripalam Gunagar Sansar Param Natoham Tusharadrisham Kash Gauram Gabhiram Manobhut Koti Prabhasri Sariram Molikallolini Charuganga Lasat Bhal Bhalendu Kanthe Chalat Kundalam Bhrusunetram Vishalam Prasannanam Neelakantham Mrigadish Charmambaram Mundamalam Priyam Shankaram Sarvanatham Bhajami Prachandam Prakrishtam Pragalbham Paresham Akhandam Majam Bhanyukoti Prakasham Shul Nirmulanam Shul Panim Bhajeham Bhavanim Patim Bhavagamyam Kalatit Kalyan Kalpantkari Sada Sajnanand Data Purari Chidanand Sandoha Moha Pahari Prasidh Prasidh Prabhu Manmatari Nayavad Uvanat Padar Vindam Bhajanti Haloke Parevanararam Natavat Sukham Shanti Santapanasham Prasidha Prabhu Sarvabhuta Na janami yogam japam neva pujam Natoham sada sarvada sambhutobhyam Jarajanma dukho gyatapyamanam Prabhu pahiyapan namami shambho Namami Shamishan Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Swarupam O Namami Shamishan निर्वाणरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवेदस्वरूपं निजं निर्गुणं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं चिदाकाशवाकाशवासं भजेऽहं चिदाकाशवाकाशवासं भजेऽहं चिदाकाशवाकाशवासं भजेऽहं। बोले महापति महादेव की। ओम शिव परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्। ओम शिव परा
शिव ओंकार
Everybody clap.
शिव तव शरणम्।
ओम शिव परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्।
ओम शिव परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्।
ओम शिव परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्। ओम शिव परा शिव
ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्।
ओम शिव परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्। ओम शिव परा शिव ओंकारा
शिव तव शरणम्।
हे शिव शंकर भवानी शंकर उमा महेश्वर तव शरणम्।
हे शिव शंकर भवानी शंकर उमा महेश्वर तव शरणम्।
ओ हे शिव शंकर भवानी शंकर उमा महेश्वर तव शरणम्।
हे शिव शंकर भवानी शंकर उमा महेश्वर तव शरणम्।
ओम शिव परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्। ओम शिव परा शिव ओंकारा
शिव तव शरणम्।
ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्। ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्। ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम्। यत्र योगेश्वरा कृष्णो यत्र पाठो धनुर्धरा तत्र श्रीविजयो भूतिर् ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम। बोले महापति महादेव की। श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की। जय सीताराम एवरीवन। जय सीताराम। Does anybody know what Saturday is? What is Saturday? Saturday is December 2nd? Gita Jayanti. Saturday is December 2nd, but it's also Gita Jayanti. No, Saturday is December 3rd, but it's also Gita Jayanti. Gita Jayanti, the day when Bhagwan Shri Krishna began repeating the Gita to Arjun. What is the Gita? सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धा गोपाल नंदना पार्थो वत्सा सुधीर्भुक्ता दुग्धम गीतामृतम महत. What is the Gita? Sarva Upanishado Gavo. Bhagwan Shri Krishna took verses from many of the Upanishads. Sarvopanishado. Sarva and Upanishad become Sarvopanishad when you put them together. Sarva Upanishad. Sarva Upanishado Gavo. He took verses from all the main Upanishads. Bhuvan was learning Vishnu Sahasranam, which I'm very, very happy to say he has completed. Chants it so well. One day we were chanting some Gita shlokas. Chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate shraddhaya, from chapter 12 and so. So he knows that. He said, that's in Vishnu Sahasranam. I said, yes, it is in Vishnu Sahasranam. Because Bhagwan Shri Krishna, when he was narrating this, what we call Gita, to Arjun, it is like me sitting here giving you a lecture, and I quote from the Ramayana, I quote from the Gita, I quote from the Puranas, I quote from Valmiki Ji Ramayana, I quote from the Upanishads, and at the end of it, it is called Katha. Katha, right? Something that was delivered with stories and verses and quotes to enlighten you from different scriptures. So Sri Krishna Bhagwan took the Kena Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, he took the Sastranamas, and he took verses from all of them, one verses each, and he placed them and he delivered them to Arjun. And that package, that song, that's inspiration, those 700 verses that came from different places, it was called the Gita, or the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The Gita is not 5,000 years old. No. The Gita was recited to Arjuna over 5,100 plus years ago, but it is way before creation, right? It's not 5,000 years old. So I don't want to talk about Gita today. The listeners, Sarvopanishado Gavo, so the Lord took all of them, and it is described as the Gita as the cow, Gavo. So what does a cow do? A female cow? Dugdha means the milkman. Somebody is milking the cow. Who has to milk the cow? Dugdha Gopalanandana. The milkman is Krishna. He is milking the cow. And who does he give the milk to, the nectar to, the Gita to? Partho Vatsa Sudirbhukta. Partho means Partha, who is Prithu, Arjun. He gives the milk to Arjun to drink. He doesn't drink the milk himself. He gives Arjun the milk to drink. Dugdham Gita Amritam Maha. The Gita becomes Amrit. Arjun, when he did penance to Bhagwan Shiva, he is not only a friend. Arjun was never known as a devotee of Krishna. By the way, he was never known as a devotee of Krishna until chapter 11, as I quoted the verses yesterday, verses 31. Until chapter 11, when he saw the Lord, when he saw the Lord, multitude head, multitude arms, for everything, he says, Bhagwan Krishna, forgive me for calling you Krishna. Forgive me for calling you Madhav. Forgive me for calling you all these simple names when we were playing and eating and casual activities. Forgive me for treating you like a mortal. Forgive you, my Lord, because I saw you as a mortal. But today I have become your disciple. Only in chapter 11 of the Gita. In January, we'll start our Gita classes back, but we're not going to have it every week. We're going to have a schedule for the people who were there before and new people as well, because Gita must be known by every single Hindu. So we're going to start that in January. Chapter 11, Arjuna becomes a devotee of Krishna Bhagwan. And he says, forgive me for calling you Krishna. Arjuna then became a devotee, but who was Arjuna a devotee of as well before the Gita, before Kurukshetra? Remember, he did penance to Bhagwan Shivji. Remember that story? I always told that story when he went to the forest and he made a bed of arrows with the arrows pointing up. He stood up on one foot and he chanted Om Namah Shivaya to Bhagwan Mahadev. Then Mahadev Bhagwan, the boar came, and he and Mahadev Bhagwan shot the boar. The boar was a distraction. Mahadev Bhagwan was in the form of a hunter. And then at the end of it, Bhagwan Shivji blessed him with Pashupatastra. Pashupatastra means the bow that never makes a mistake. Pashupat Ban. The beautiful katha in the Shiv Purana about Pashupat Ban. That bow is what gave Arjuna, among other things, gave Arjuna victory in the Mahabharata. The bow of Shivji. Don't take him for just Digambar like that, you know. He has Bhasman thing. No, he's the Lord of weapons. Up to today in Kali Yuga, Bhagwan Parshuram is meditating on Shiva up to today. Because Parshuram is a Chiranjeevi. He's meditating on Shiva so that when Kalki comes, Shiva will bless Bhagwan Parshuram with the weapons to give to Kalki. Side story. Shivji is a Lord of weapons. So many. So Bhagwan Shivji blessed him with the Pashupatastra. Arjuna was not satisfied. Arjuna says, Prabhu, this Pashupatastra, this bow, will take me across the ocean in this life. But my Lord, what about the next life? What will happen? The Lord says, okay, I bless you in the next life, Arjun, that you will not be a warrior, but you will be a devotee of me. You'll become a disciple of Shiva. And in the South Indian culture, which we try to follow some of it here in pujas and so, we will learn about the 63 Nayanas, the 63 teachers of the South Indian philosophy of Shiva. Arjuna took many avatars, many. Just like you and I went, we were cockroach, scorpion, grasshopper and things like that, one life. Mosquito, fly. Arjuna took many avatars as well. And in one of the avatars, he became one of the Nayanas of the teachers of South Indian Shaiva tradition. His name was Kannappa Nayar. Kannappa. He was a saint, Kannappa, and he was a hunter. He was not a warrior, he was a hunter because he is good in the arrow and bow from his previous, birth. You will find this, that sometimes people are born and they are not taught a lot of things. They naturally can explore their soul and explore their habits, and you will find them displaying things at early ages that was never taught to them. It was never taught to them, but they can do things. When Kannappa was a young boy, he could have, used the arrow and bow so well because he brought that previous karmic deeds with him from Arjuna. So he became Kannappa and he fell in love with a Shiva Lingam. So he found the Shiva Lingam, Kalahasti Bhagavan he found, which is in South India, not from Tirupati. He found the Kalahasti, which is the Vayu Lingam. And he was so bhole, he was so naive. He used to worship this lingam. When he go to he has to offer, so he would pick the bush and he would offer it to Bhagwan Shivji. He will offer animals he doesn't know anything. He is just bhole. He just loves Shivji, and nobody ever taught him anything. He did not have a pot. So you know what he used to do? He used to have to go fetch a little water from the river and to bring it to Shiv Bhagwan to bathe him. But when he doesn't have a pot. He dip the water in his hand like this and he run, and by the time he meet, the water fall out. He goes again, he dips some water, Kannappa. He dips some water again, the water fall out. You know what he did? He filled his mouth with water. He filled his mouth with water and he came and he offered that water to Bhagwan Shiva on the lingam. That's how naive he was, bhole. He was a hunter, not exposed to any norms or traditions. He became so attached to Shiva. All sorts of things he did that did not make sense to you and I. Many, many more things I wouldn't tell you. But Mahadev understood that, he had some challenges. He was naive. But everything that he did it with such purity. With such purity, he made the best of what he had. One day, what happened? The temple was breaking down. The roof was breaking down. You know what he did, Kannappa? He went and he stood over the lingam. He put his back over the lingam so that the lingam will not be destroyed. That is how much love he had for Bhagwan. Right? Put his back over it. Anyways, one day as he was playing, the Lord really wanted to test his faith, as the Lord does to all of us. Without exception, he tests. We are all students of life. The Lord put our faith to test. Enormous, so many stories in the Katha of the Lord. He puts our faith to test. One day, as he was doing puja to the Lord's left eye started to bleed. His left eye started to bleed. So after Kannappa, he saw the left eye of the Lord started to bleed. He tried to cock it up. He took his dhoti, he tied it around, but it was still happening. He says, Mahadev, Bhagwan is going to lose an eye. He took his arrow, he cut off one of his eye, and he placed it on the lingam of the Lord. When that happened now, the Lord's other eye started to bleed. He says, well, what is this? So he stood up on the lingam, the Vayu lingam that is still there in Kalahasti today. This is recorded, this is history. He stood there now and he says, wait, the Lord's other eye is bleeding. But if I give him one of my eyes, I'm going to be blind. He said, okay, I'll do that. But he thought again, he says, if I took out the eye, I wouldn't have eyes to see. So how would I know where to place the eye? So he took his right foot, his toe, and he placed it before on the right side of the eye where it's supposed to be. And then he took his arrow now and he was going to cut off his right eye to offer it to Bholenath Bhagwan. Who did that? And you all know whoever did that? There was one other devotee who did that. Adhikama? Bhagwan Vishnu. Bhagwan Vishnu. Shiva Sahasranam. Everybody wants to give their eyes to Bhagwan Shivji. Everybody wants to give their eyes to him. As he was going to now, he put his foot there to mark where he has to put the eyes, and he's going to take off his next eye. Bholenath Bhagwan appeared in front of Kannappa. And what happened? Bhagwan Shivji blessed him. Bhagwan Shiva blessed him. He says, your devotion is incomparable. There are many who do so many things for me, but you're willing to give everything for me. You're willing to give both eyes for me, Kannappa. As today, I will give you a special blessing, and he was called one of the Tinnan. Tinnan means one of the South Indian tradition. In Tamil means that who is undisturbed and innocent. He blessed him that you will become one of the 63 foremost. You'll be foremost among the 63 teachers of my tradition in the Nayanar Foundation. And so Arjun, in that birth as Kannappa, was blessed as Tinna, who became a Nayanar of the South Indian tradition. A lot to remember there, but what's important in this process is that this is someone who treated the Lord as though the Lord really exists in front of him. As though the Lord has life, as though the Lord was bleeding, as though the Lord was crying, as though the Lord really was there. He treated the Lord like that. We do not want to compare anything to tell us that we are bigger or lower than Kannappa. But in my mind, I think when we can get to that level, to treat the Lord like the Lord is really there watching us. When you bathe the lingam, that is Mahadeva himself. When you see the pran pratishtha of the murtis, that is the Lord himself. And when we understand that this is not a marble stone murti, this is not an icon, this is not an idol, this is the Lord, then our relationship is taken to a whole different level. Remember, the secret to Mahadev's Bhagwan heart is tapasya. Tapasya means to transform yourself from something that is unwanted to something that is divine. And so to this evening, the message is for us all to treat our murtis just not as an object of focus, but may our devotion be so strong that it transforms that murti into Bhagwan. And when our eyes can see the beauty and the realness of Bhagwan in a murti, then and there we know that Bhagwan has given us realization. So, come February 18th, when hopefully it will be a historical day for Hindus in this area, let us come and pour our devotion to Bhagwan Shivji in abundance. Bole Umapati Mahadev ki Jai, Umapati Mahadev ki Jai. Let's do a little kirtan before we end today. Seek the blessings of Bhagwan Shivji on all of you. A little bhajan. तेरा पल पल बीता जाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. तेरा पल पल बीता जाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. तेरा पल पल बीता जाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. तेरा पल पल बीता जाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. शिव शुम तुम हृदय से बोले मन मंदिर का पर्दा खोलो. शिव शिव तुम हृदय से बोलो मन मंदिर का पर्दा खोलो. तेरा अवसर खाली न जाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. तेरा अवसर खाली न जाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. मुसाफिरी जब पूरी होगी चलने की मजबूरी होगी. मुसाफिरी जब पूरी होगी चलने की मजबूरी होगी. तेरा पिंजरा प्राण रह जाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. तेरा पिंजरा प्राण रह जाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय. शिव पूजन में मस्त बने जा भक्ति सुधार सुपान किए जा. शिव पूजन में मस्त बने जा भक्ति सुधार सुपार किए जा. दर्शन विश्वनाथ के पाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. दर्शन विश्वनाथ के पाए मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय. ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः। तेरा पल पल बीता जाए, मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय। तेरा पल पल बीता जाए, मुख से जप ले नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। प्रेम से बोलो मापति महादेव की जय। Tomorrow evening is Hanumanji Chalisa chanting from 6:30 to 7:30 in the temple. 1 hour of beautiful satsang. Please come and join us if you can. Let's stand for Aarti, please, everyone. Yani kani cha papani जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि सर्वाणि नश्यन्तु प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। ओम जय शिव
ओंकारा स्वामी हरि शिव ओंकारा। जय शिव ओंकारा स्वामी हरि शिव ओंकारा। ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिव, ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदाशिव अर्धांगिरारा। ओम जय शिव ओंकारा। ओम हर 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 महादेव। एकानन चतुरानन पंचानन राजे स्वामी पंचानन राजे। हंसासन गरुरासन, हंसासन गरुरासन वृषवाहन साजे। ओम जय शिव ओंकारा। ओम हर 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 महादेव। दो भुज चार चतुर्भुज 10 भुज ते सोहे स्वामी 10 भुज ते सोहे। तीनों रूप निरखता, तीनों रूप निरखता त्रिभुवन जन मोहे। ओम जय शिव ओंकारा। ओम हर 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 महादेव। अक्षमाला वनमाला रुंडमाला धारी स्वामी रुंडमाला धारी। चंदन मृग मद सोहे, चंदन मृग मद सोहे भाले शशिधारी। ओम जय शिव ओंकारा। ओम हर 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 महादेव। ओम हर 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 महादेव। ओम हर 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 महादेव।
ओम कर्पूर गौरम करुणावतारम संसार सारम भुजगेन्द्रहारम सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृतिस्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णु मङ्गलं गरुडध्वजा मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्षो मङ्गलाय तनोहरिं मङ्गलं भगवान् शम्भो मङ्गलं वृषध्वजा मङ्गलं पार्वतीनाथा सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। भोले गणपति महाराज की, गुरु महाराज की, पवन सुत हनुमान की, सियावर रामचंद्र की, लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की, राधा कृष्ण भगवान की, गंगा मैया की, यमुना मैया की, श्री गौ माता की, भारत माता की, श्री सूर्य नारायण स्वामी की, सत्यनारायण स्वामी की, जगदम्बिका सरस्वती माता की, महालक्ष्मी माता की, जयकारा शेरा वाली लाहौल साचे दरबार की जय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर 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 महादेव शंभो। सत्य सनातन धर्म की सबको ये जय जय सीताराम। Please take aarti and prasad will be given to you at the door. Jai Sitaram. Shubhratri. Good night.